Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and so there's even more information coming out about this sweetheart Epstein deal that we simply were not privy to before this federal investigation into why Acosta, who is now a part of the Trump administration, gave this man such a sweetheart deal. Now, I want to backtrack just for a second and talk about a video I did earlier in the week where it was revealed, and I'm not sure if it's 31 states, Wikipedia had 30 states, but it was revealed that Epstein himself had only pled to sexual relations with a 16-year-old girl. Now, why is this important? Well, it was assumed by everybody, since it was a 14-year-old girl that initially started all the charges, that is what he was charged with, which would mean that he would have to register as a sex offender in every single state that he owned property. Okay? But that's not what happened. Instead, they cut such a sweetheart deal on this guy that they chose a 16-year-old girl out of, look at the headline, dozens of younger girls that accused. I mean, So we find out about this. Now, we've all seen that the mainstream media reported there was a deal in there where it seemed like Epstein became an FBI informant, and that many of people thought that he helped to take down Bear Stearns. Well, guess what? No. No, 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 no. No. That sweetheart deal had nothing to do with him ratting anybody else out. According to this new investigation, you're not seeing this stuff anywhere. Again, I'm not on the Trump train. I'm not Sir Fox-a-Lot. But we're going to read this one here because it is so damn important. Okay, so let's just read it. How did convicted sex offender and billionaire money manager Jeffrey Epstein receive a relatively mild sentence for a crime that involved underage girls? As the decade-old case continues to make headlines, one rationale goes something like this. Epstein, a friend of former President Bill Clinton and President Donald Trump, was able to serve just 13 months in prison. Whoa! Let's stop it there, Fox Business. 13 months in prison? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. How about an hour a day? I think 5 nights a week, if that. An hour a day he was staying there. Maybe he was spending the night there. He was free to go and come as he pleased. There really aren't even any records whether Epstein was staying the night there. You got to prove that to me. I'm sure he was checking in every once in a while. But to say that this man spent 13 months in prison is a joke. He did not. After being accused of sexually abusing more than 30 minors. 30 minors. Folks, it's more than that. Over a period of 8 years by hiring an O.J. Simpson-like dream team of high-priced legal talent while using his inside knowledge of Wall Street to make him a valuable informant in the government's crackdown of abuses following the 2008 financial crisis. However, according to numerous published reports, Epstein, 66, was said to be a key witness in the prosecution of two Bear Stearns hedge fund managers, Ralph Saudi and Matthew Tannen. Both men were charged with securities fraud after the collapse of a pair of hedge funds they oversaw. One of the events the prosecution believed sparked the 2008 financial crisis. That's horse shit. Listen, Bear Stearns ain't great. Did they spark the 2008 financial crisis? No, absolutely not. Watch the film Inside Job. And listen, Bear Stearns, no saints. They absolutely helped orchestrate that. But listen, if you don't think Goldman Sachs was involved, if you don't think the International Monetary Fund even signed off on it, this was an international agreement because the dollar is just that powerful. When they said too big to fail, what did they say they gave them? 27 bill or something like that. It's been so long, but the actual numbers were just claims that they got paid back. I've never seen any evidence of that. But back to Epstein, okay? Meanwhile, the notion that Epstein agreed to cooperate on the federal investigation of Wall Street crimes provided at least some logic, not really, but some logic behind what many legal experts believe was a sweetheart deal for sex crimes involving minors, if of course it were true. But a Fox Business investigation shows that Epstein did not provide any meaningful cooperation to obtain his relatively light sentence in the hedge fund case, or likely any case tied to the financial crisis. Probably any case at all. Okay? He wasn't work with the FBI, who knows how. But as far as an informant on cases, I doubt it. He had dirt on so many people. He had the dirt. Think about those black books and who was in them. That doesn't make everybody traveling on his plane a sex offender or everybody in the black book a bad person. But you gotta know, with the company he kept, the people like Harvey Weinstein, that he was up to no good. Okay? In fact, Epstein's cooperation with prosecutors does not appear to extend beyond supplying state and federal investigators with information involving his own case. These people added, and barely anything. You can watch the video out there when they finally get Epstein into a room and they start questioning him, and it is just immediate that he walks out. They start asking him basically about his quote-unquote egg-shaped penis, according to many of the eyewitness accounts of these young girls. And immediately his lawyer starts to object. You can see him get upset. He just gets up and walks out. I'm a billionaire. I don't need to be held accountable for, having St. James, Little St. James Island with underage girls, with over 30 accusers, with prominent figures like Prince Andrew having my back, with flying around on private jets with Donald Trump in the late 90s. No big deal with Clinton, according to his own records, as president, being on my plane 26 separate times. And there are a bunch more allegations out there. But once again, this guy doesn't seem like he did anything to get this deal other than have powerful lawyers and possibly blackmail on other people. He wasn't out Bear Stearns. Oh, this revelation, which has yet to be reported, well, it's been reported now, and we're trying to shine some light on it here, is the product of interviews with a dozen people involved in the Epstein case, from former prosecutors to various lawyers involved in the matter, the people with direct ties to Epstein himself. It comes as the case and the circumstances behind Epstein's sentencing agreement continues to make national headlines, with additional alleged new victims coming forward and the courts reviewing the propriety of the agreement he cut with prosecutors. It wasn't an agreement. Don't you get it? This was a setup. Everybody out there needs to go check out James Patterson's book, Filthy Rich. Does that mean I think everything in there is 100% spot on? No, but I know that he did the finest work in large fashion for a fiction writer, the number one fiction writer in the world, the number one best-selling author in the world, decided to take this case on in a nonfiction book, and the media absolutely ignored it, and it's been trashed on Amazon. His books are 4.5, 5 stars across the board. I think the last time I checked, that book had 3 stars. Why did it have 3 stars? I read it. There's nothing wrong with that book. It wasn't written in properly. In fact, it was a page turner. I couldn't believe what I was reading. So I encourage you to go check that out. In that, I will give James Patterson credit. He talks about the falling out with Trump. And, early on, there were allegations of Trump being with an underage girl, but the girl was never named. The case was thrown out. That's not to say, I agree with a guy like Alan Dershowitz, who's constantly on Fox News defending Trump. And we all know that Dershowitz himself was Epstein's lawyer and is Epstein's lawyer today. And in fact, Dershowitz was in court a week and a half, 2 weeks ago at a hearing involving his accusers. And he flat out denies. He's been denying this for 4 or 5 years. He went on the Today Show with his family and said that he didn't do this stuff. Even the people from An Open Secret, who I highly respect, don't think that he was involved in any of this activity. That being said, he's defending a demon, and he knows it. What kind of morality does this guy really have? He knows who his clients are. He's not a moral person. And, oh, I get it. Well, you're a lawyer. You're supposed to defend whoever pays you. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You don't defend demons. When you do that and you knowingly do it, you are a demon. So I'm sorry, I got no love for Dershowitz. I thought this was a pretty important story. More revelations that this guy never helped in any cases. His deal was absolutely absurd. We now know he didn't have to register as a sex offender in 31 of 50 states. Remember, this guy's a billionaire. He can buy a house anywhere he wants. He has property in New Mexico, one of those states where he doesn't have to register. Think about that. Not only did he barely do any jail time, not only is he walking the streets today, but in only 19 states, if he were to buy property, would he have to register as a sex offender for his despicable crimes, which have been out there, if you want to look, for years upon years upon years now, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Please hit that thumbs up button, share this video, and make sure to subscribe and ring that bell, or you won't be getting the notifications for videos like this one. Go check out my work over at Pulse Change and We Are Change. And remember, folks, be the change you want to see in the world.